Hello YouTube, this is Julia Plous, children's book author and child at heart, and also insane Lion King fan. I have more Lion King merchandise than any other fandom I've been obsessed with in my life. The Lion King came out in the summer of 1994. I was 5 years old and just going into kindergarten. And I got to see it in the theater, thankfully. There were some kids in my class who were like, oh, I'm not allowed to see Lion King because there's a sad part in it. But thankfully I was not deprived of the experience. I saw it in the theater, I loved it, it did not traumatize me. I cry at it now, but I didn't back then. I guess I wasn't mature enough. But yeah, I have a ton of Lion King stuff I want to share with you. So I want to start with action figures, because action figures are my favorite kind of toy. The very first action figure set my sister and I got consisted of adult Simba, Timon and Pumbaa, Rafiki, and a plant. And we still have that Simba from all those years ago. He's a little worn and torn. He's got, his mane is chipping off, but he still works. I mean, he still does that. Later on, we got a second Simba because, you know, we wanted one in a little better condition. We still got Rafiki, even though he's missing his staff. We got Pumbaa. His mouth opens and he's got one tooth. And then this ridiculously out of proportion Timon. I mean, Timon should not be that big. Who cares? And the second set we got was Scar, Shenzi, Zazu, and Cub Simba. Now what pisses me off is they never made Nala. They never made an action figure of Nala, cub or adult. Or Sarabi, Simba's mother, who, by the way, makes it to the end of the movie. I mean, Mufasa dies 20 minutes in and he gets his own action figure, but Sarabi is nowhere to be found. I mean, you know why they do that. Because toy companies think that girls don't play with action figures, and they think that boys don't want to play with girl characters, which just drives me crazy. I'm a girl, I love action figures, always have. It's just, like, that's such a pain in the ass. So, like, when we'd play with this, we would, my sister and I, after we got this other Simba, we'd just pretend this was Sarabi, because it's like, well, its mane is chipping off. Well, let's just use that as, that's so annoying. And then for Simba, you know, there's no Nala to go along with them. We had to use this Burger King Nala. And look, she's bigger than Simba, so this was just annoying. Thank goodness our neighbors gave this to us, because we would not have obtained it otherwise. We never ate at Burger King as kids. I, to this day, have still never eaten at Burger King. But that's just, you know, that's just such a pain in the ass. Toy companies, don't assume that girls don't play with action figures, and don't assume that boys don't want to play with girl characters. Alright, just do better. Toy companies, do better. We got, you know, Shenzi and Bonsai was sold separately. They never made Ed until they came out with this fighting set of Simba and Scar. They used to roar, but I don't even think changing the batteries at this point would help. These have been flood damaged several times. But yeah, this roaring fighting set, this belonged to my sister, this belonged to me, and when we got it, I was so excited. I slept with Scar. But anyway, this set also came with another Shenzi, who's stiff, she doesn't move, and it also came with Ed, and I was so excited. It's like, they finally made Ed! But, I lost him. I left him outside once, and I never saw him again. So, that's annoying. As for Burger King toys, over the years I've collected more, not from eating at Burger King, but from thrift stores and flea markets. So now I have Burger King Scar, Burger King Timon and Pumbaa, Burger King Simba, and then also these finger puppets. I don't have them all, but I intend to. If I should find them at the Kane County Flea Market, I'll totally buy them, just to complete my collection. Oh, this. This is probably the best thing that ever happened to action figures. The Pride Rock playset. Now, this is ridiculously small when you consider the fact that this is Mufasa. So when my sister and I would play Lion King, we'd often make our own Pride Rock out of cardboard bricks. But this was still fun to have. This is kind of dumb. You, like, turn this around and there's Rafiki's tree. It's like, yeah, Rafiki's tree did not grow on the back of Pride Rock. Here's an elephant skull. And you could fill this pond up with water and then press this button, or this rock, and bubbles would come up. I don't think that'll work anymore. This is very old and has been damaged a lot. This rib cage comes out, and then you press this little skull, and it's a trap. And it also came with, they've been lost for years, but it came with a small rib cage, a wildebeest skull, and a leg bone, and you were supposed to just scatter them around. But, yeah, so those have been lost, but this is actually still in pretty good shape, considering how old it is. So, that concludes my Lion King action figures and Burger King toys, but I still have so much Lion King stuff to get to, so stick around.